everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the BMD, your host on a new show on Rogers Television called Meet the Band. Catch a break with me, the BMD. Listen, we have some local, homegrown GTA Durham region guys. I've chatted with them before, exciting, and we're going to catch up because that's what we do on the show, Meet the Band. We're introducing new talent and catching up with some of our old fan favorites. So, the guy, introduce yourself on left to right. Jump in and tell everybody, I know who you are. Who are you?
So I go by the name of Young Stitch, Young ST to the itch you can't scratch, BET Freestyle Friday World Champion. What's good? I got my man with me.
I go by the name of Reality. I don't got as cool with the title, but yeah. He is the BET World Freestyle Champion. Me and him roll together. I'm Reality, Young Stitch.
Okay, we're gonna get right into it. Listen, tell us when we're catching up. Tell the folks and the listeners a little bit about the background. Stitch, tell us where you came from. How did you get here today? Not by car, not by bus, not by plane. How did you get before us?
You know what? It took a lot of perseverance. It took a lot of dedication. It took a lot of hard work. But what I did is, you know what? It sounds really cliche, but when you stick to something, it's like The Secret, right? When you stick to something that you really want to do and you're really passionate about something, it's going to work out if you just bust your behind and you get there. You know what I mean? So I've worked really hard over the last couple of years, and I've noticed an exponential growth every single year. It's just gotten better and better. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm excited to see this year. I'm excited to see next year and the year after. So.
Okay, Reality, what about you? How did you get in front of us today?
Like Julian said, nothing beats hard work, but you know, similar to you, I just wanted in the industry. I started in the radio game. I like we talked about in our previous shows, I was a radio DJ coming up. I worked in studios recording other people and just stayed at it, stayed around the right people. And luckily I got good peoples around me that and I've had great opportunities. So just staying ready and knowing the right people and being ready to execute when the time comes.
Yes, sir.
So there's no question you guys are buddies. How did you get together with each other? How did you connect before collaboration, before being individual artists? How did you meet? How did you get together?
Well, like I said before, I was running a radio show in college. I wanted to get to know the local talent. Stitch was one of my favorite local rappers. We never met despite living in the same city, going to different high schools.
Yeah.
I invited him on my show, interviewed him. I started recording with him, and over time we became friends. And actually now we're roommates. So we're recording this from our place. We live together.
Okay. So how long's the relationship been, the friendship? How long have you been together?
How long have we been married, Rhea?
Married or together? No, I guess since 2019, or not 2019, 2009.
2009, I think, is when we actually officially met each other in person, like not on social media. Like we actually met each other in person. Where it's like, hey, you support rap culture, you run a radio show, I'm a rapper. And we kind of meshed at that point, and we went from just being homies just through his interviews to then we'd go out for a couple root beers with each other, you know, afterwards. And then, you know what, we just got closer and closer, and now we're married.
Now we're married.
Now you're married.
Project is deep.
So you've moved in together. Obviously that could be for financial or creativity, and with things being so expensive out there, living under the same roof closer together, has it made things easier or harder getting along on creativity?
I would say easier because for once in our lives, we're here next to each other, and we're able to kind of like play it as we go. You know what I mean? Like, so if there's something going on that someone doesn't agree with, we're able to nip it in the butt right away, rather than like wait for everything to be solidified and on wax, as we call it in the industry, which means recorded and laid down. And then, you know, funds start being spent, money, studio sessions start being gotten a hold of. Like once we're living together, we can kind of coincide with each other and make sure that everything we're doing aligns. You know what I mean? So I personally think it's easier.
For sure. Like if I'm in my room and working on a song and he's like, oh, that doesn't make sense with everything else. Like I won't waste time on stuff that doesn't waste. So, you know, and like, it's good. It holds me accountable too. Like I'm
the type, I'll be sitting here playing Call of Duty and then I'll hear something he's doing and I'll literally stop, pause my game and go knock on the door and be like, hey, that part you should have did this, or that part I would suggest you do that instead. And they'd be like, all right, man, thank you. Like, you know what I mean? So
it's cool like that for sure.
Why do they choose to ignore us? Italian, they tried to deport us, crossing the borders without any papers in hand. Just a dream that we couldn't afford, but we waited outside in the cold. Stand with my brothers, the government trying to control us. All of these figures they worship are racist. We knocking down all of the statues before us. What do you claim is important and what is a lie? I'm vying to find what the meaning of life is. Tell me we different, but preaching just like us. Swear that this feeling is priceless. I put my dreams in a vice grip. This is what life is. We should be learning together. Not come from a planet that's filled up with different races and try to determine who's better. BLM all on my sweater. I'm fighting for Regis. I'm fighting for George. Maybe I'm white, but I'll fight for the rights of your people with blood on my knife and my sword. Christopher called it exploring. All he was doing was claiming the land that belonged to the Lord. Raping and pillaging villages filled up with natives who offered us help from abroad. This ain't the arrogance that I want in my lifeline. I'm not comparing to what you see in your lifetime. This is why they burying any truth that we might find. This for anybody that think that Jesus a white guy. Watch me as I ride in the streets. Molotov cocktails flying at police. Don't tell me what I'm fighting for in peace when I'm out here staring in the eyes of the beast, man.
That's some real shit. I remember when I was 7 years old and my mom was throwing rocks and Molotov cocktails at motherfucking police vans and neo-Nazis rioting in the streets in Berlin, man. That's the type of shit I grew up with. Real facts. Look it up. Let's go.
You can trace me to ancient Sumerians. They're running out of patience and places to bury us. Self-separate, use hatred as barriers. To try to say this, you threw shade on my character. We need more than change in America. We can't just pray for a miracle. Screaming gang, gang, yeah, I'm hearing you. But what the fuck you say to air raids in Assyria? The fuck we say to First Nation Americans? Church take everything to race and their heritage. What we gon' say to these banks, y'all terrorists? I'm the red Banksy, I'm painting a narrative. I don't do astrology, but I do think we need age of Aquarius. Look it up, there's some real shit, type it in, conversations curing up. I've been screaming, fuck these pages and acronyms. Not for no reason, my family been anarchists. They fit that I made was anti-establishment. Cause I'm sick of this shit, actually stand for shit. Like the activist Kaepernick. I was raised a Catholic Anglican. Using this platform, a white rapper cancel him. Science first, religion, Nazareth of Nazareth. I'm a product of the underground punk scene. Mainstream media in it, I'm never trusting. Egalitarianism should not be luxury. We need that shit in the system in every country. Shit, watch mama ride in the streets. Molotov cocktails fired at police. And tell me what I ain't fighting for is peace. I was fighting 93, I was 7 with the lines versus sheep. Yeah.
These are people who live in public housing. You took down bus routes. There are people who live in this neighborhood who have to go back uptown to work. And you are here profiting off of our pay. So you protest every single last one of you. And you think it's okay to take down a neighborhood. You don't see corporations here.
So do you find you have in-house wrap-offs before the public get to hear things?
We battle.
we have, especially on Friday and Saturday nights, that's when I find the battles tend to really come out. But
So
we
what's the
definitely
record? What's the record for 2022? Who's winning so far?
I think he's winning, but I'm
he
right
puts
up
up
there.
a good fight.
I get him.
He puts up a good fight. He gets a couple of haymakers on me that I go.
He's a BT Freestyle Friday champion, right? But I'm coming. With
you know what? He's going to be the next BT Freestyle Friday champion. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that. Nice segue in, Stitch. So tell us how that came about and how it happened. I know it was a couple of years back, but we've been a couple of years away from each other. I think when we last spoke, you had just won the crowning title.
Yeah. Back in 2018, I got flown out to LA to compete in the BT Freestyle Friday World Championships. I ended up taking the crown home, which is up here. I actually got it here.
That's right here. Don't off the camera.
So we got it.
Oh,
So
very
it's here
nice.
hanging on the wall. We have the BET Freestyle Friday World Champion crown right here. It sits in Pickering, Ontario, believe it or not. And yeah, I got flown out, and they showed me lots of love. I got to compete against the winner of the London, England segment, the winner of the Los Angeles segment, the winner of the New York segment. I was the winner of the Toronto segment, and I ended up beating everybody in the finals on the BET Freestyle Friday stage at 106 in Park in front of the Staples Center.
Wow.
And it was iconic. It really was. You had the Staples Center in the background, palm trees, televised on national television. And yeah, till this day, they haven't had another event for 106 in Park for BT Freestyle Friday. And
Wow,
so I am
congratulations
officially
again.
the last BT Freestyle Friday world champion.
Which means
Now-
when I beat him in a freestyle.
Now, reality, I heard something in your bio about Team Backpack.
Yeah, that was a couple
So
years
what's
back.
that?
He was with me too. That was a couple years back. We went to New York. It was like an underground rap competition, probably one of the more famous one for being an underground thing. So we both went out there and we competed. It was just like 1,000 MCs, and you had to go and spit your best lyrics, your best 16 bars to a beat. They gave you 20 beats. It could be any of these 20 beats. You had to be prepared to spit on anything. And it was a crazy experience. I went there again with Stitch. He's the one that got me to do it.
We do all the amazing stuff together.
Yeah. So I went to LA with him, been to New York, excited to
We've
do
done a
some
lot of
touring.
things. We've got a lot of places through the
Yeah.
music shit.
Yeah, more to
Some
come.
music stuff. So.
More to come.
So what about projects you're working on now? I mean, obviously you can't say the intimate stuff or stuff that's not out, but is there a launch of a new record coming? Or now that COVID's opening up a bit, are you guys booking shows, or can people come and see you soon?
Yes. So actually, first of all, me and Riyality are working on Book of Enoch 2, which will be a really crazy project. So we're gonna have that project for you guys. I'm also currently working on my first ever solo debut album, which I've been in the game for like 12, 13, actually way more years than that. Like I'm closing in on 15 years in the game.
Longer than I know.
And I've never dropped a solo album. So I'm finally building my first solo project. He's also working on his next solo project. And then me and my buddy Junk, who we actually, we haven't talked since then, but me and Junk, dropped an album last February, Lions Eat Goats, and we actually went #1 on the charts. So I have a #1 album under my belt, which is, there we go, which is, really special to me that, it makes all the work you put in for the thousands of hours worth it. But we're actually touring it. So we just announced the West Coast Lions Eat Goats tour now that everything's opened up. So I will be touring from March 26th all the way to April 10th, all the way from Kelowna, Vancouver, all the way to Saskatchewan. So we're doing a whole West Coast tour. We got 12 shows locked. That's just the first leg. And then the second leg, we will do Toronto all the way to Fredericton. So,
Wow. That's a big schedule.
And you'll see Riyality on stage with us when we come to the East Coast. So
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Guys, since we last talked, did any of you miss the BMD?
Oh, big time, buddy.
we
time.
missed the BMD.
Big time, man. Big time. I'm glad that you're doing. I was about to ask you, if you're doing a show at home, you got everything set up so that you persevered through all this. That's great.
We're trying to keep it good and keep it going. Listen, any regrets? You've been on the road, you've been out pounding it. Any regrets?
Not doing more of what I've been doing.
You know what?
No regrets.
I'll tell you what, no regrets. But I mean, you know what? Music is a crazy game. Here's a tip for anybody watching this that wants to be a musician. Just so you know, it's not about being a rock star. The rock star life stuff comes farther down the line when you've worked on the other aspect of it. Meaning, like, don't expect to live a rock star life with longevity. Longevity being the key is if you haven't put in the actual legwork. Like, yes, some people do blow up off one song and get this buzz off one song, but excuse me, if you're not ready to follow up on that and make a bunch of timeless records and make a bunch of stuff that people want to hear, your career will fade. And then you will spend so much money getting wrapped up in the lifestyle and getting caught up trying to pretend you're more famous than you are, because that's what it is. It's all about Instagram posts. It's all about content. It's all about tricking image and tricking people into thinking you're more important than you actually are. Because no one posts the lowlights on their Instagrams, right? People only post the highlights. People post them in Cabo in front of a palm tree. People post them sipping a Mai Tai on a beach in Miami. People don't post them cleaning raccoon crap out of a car park back, right? So you know what I mean? Like it's all about how do you maintain that lifestyle without putting yourself in the gutter? And the key is longevity. You need to want to make music because you love making music at the end of the day. And that's my key to any new artist. Don't worry about the rock starness. The rock starness will find you. Just make sure you are giving them solid content constantly, giving your all to everything you're doing. And the greatness will come. If you're doing it to be a rock star, you're already in it for the wrong reasons. You should be in it because you love making music and not because you want to be famous, whatever famous means. Like, you know, some of the most famous people in the world are depressed. You know what I mean?
Good point. So what about vision? Tell us about your two heads, your two different people. Tell us each of you about your visions.
For me, I just want, my vision is just to, one, develop my talent as far as I can possibly push it, you know, because this is what writing and recording and rapping is what I do. So I want to be the best possible version of it, obviously. But also, like, I want to have songs that, you know, that play on mainstream radio that you hear about. Like, I feel like I've done all the underground records, I guess you can call it. I proved I can rap. I can rapidy rap. But I want to make songs that, like, you know, like I guess you said, timeless records, but that get the shine that I feel they deserve. So,
yeah, you want music that will like test the sands of time.
I want one of my ex-girlfriends to be walking through the club and my song to come on. That's my vision.
Now, guys,
I'm just joking. I love
guys, speaking about girlfriends, how many ex-girlfriends are there?
There's a couple, but I got someone really special in my life right now, so I'm pretty happy.
That's good.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
I care less and I make more than I lost friends, so I made more. I came down like Khaleesi did. Gotta tell them how it is before I leave this bitch, and I'm justified. Fuck them other guys, I just wrap them all up till they mummified. You cry, baby, yeah, mom's a word. I ain't bending no knee to no nerd. Listen up, I got style for days with a drink in my cup and I'm wiped away, and I'm here to shake them down like a Michael J. I don't give no fucks, got a mic to blaze. What a price to pay when you live like me. Try to do your best, but it's unlikely. God among men when you come by me, cause I do the right thing like a young Spike Lee. Better back it up, wanna come triangles, you can rack it up. I don't rap on the hoes, I just smash and run. Never met another girl that can latch them up. I'm like, fuck that, I'm a cowboy. Type of motherfucker run the town, boy. Spike the whole mood when I'm around, boy. I can take your wife home from the sound, boy. So hold up, came to get mine. I can rip it all day like my name was Ch.10. Never give a fuck about a battle that was mine. Said I wanna come and get it, so I better bet mine when I chop that. Drugs in the bag, stuck in the past and the girl that I had. Probably why I'm pissed and I'm getting so mad, but I'm moving on now to the smoke and the cash.
Secure in the bag, secure in the bag. That's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Secure in the bag, secure in the bag, secure in the bag. That's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Secure in the bag, secure in the bag, secure in the bag. That's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Secure in the bag, secure in the bag, secure in the bag. That's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Secure in the bag.
I care less and I make more than I lost friends, so I made more. I came down like Khaleesi did. Gotta tell them how it is before I leave this bitch, and I'm justified. Fuck them other guys, I just wrap them all up till they mummified. You cry, baby, yeah, mom's a word. I ain't bending no knee to no nerd. Listen up, I got style for days with a drink in my cup and I'm wiped away, and I'm here to shake them down like a Michael J. I don't give no fucks, got a mic to blaze. What a price to pay when you live like me. Try to do your best, but it's unlikely. God among men when you come by me, cause I do the right thing like a young Spike Lee. And I'm back in the cut with a bag full of dro and a whip full of hoes. Hated on me then, but they don't know more. Gotta get it how I live it when I'm rapping with my bros. Hate that.
living like this. Used to be Lil, now I'm pimping like bitch. Wanna look now that I'm puffing on the loud when I'm rocking at a crowd and she wanna get a pic, so fuck that. I'm here to stay, lean in my cup and a beer to chase. Looking in the mirror with the weirdest face. Guess it all made a diff, getting pure with age. Now I'm all in, folding up, sipping fine wine out a golden cup. Told me back then I wasn't cold enough, so I turned the heat on, growing bold as fuck. Secure in the bag, secure in the bag. That's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Secure in the bag, secure in the bag, secure in the bag. That's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Secure in the bag, secure in the bag, secure in the bag. That's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Secure in the bag, secure in the bag, secure in the bag. That's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Secure in the bag.
So what motivates you? Forget about just times like this. What makes you get up in the morning, go to bed at night, or something came to you in a dream, you're writing? What motivates you?
For me, it's I know it's not times like these, but just getting back out there, being on the road, knowing my next post, the next thing I release is going to be better than the last thing I released.
Mhm.
The next accomplishment I do is better than what I last did, and just progress. I guess progress is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Being better,
That's good.
knowing I recorded better.
I like that. That's good.
I became a better rapper in some way. I became a better writer. So just being better. And I like when my fans are like, oh, wow, you really improved in that time.
At the end of the day, we're musicians. Like we live off those moments where a fan hits us up and they go, man, when you said this and this and that song, like I felt that. Like that is the reason I do this. I don't do this for money. I don't do it for fame. I don't do it for a blue check mark on an Instagram page. I do it because I'm literally touching people with my words. You know what I mean? So when someone reaches out to me and is like, man, like, do you know how many messages I've got, BMD, where it's just like guys like, man, I almost contemplated suicide, or I was sick, or my mom was dying, or my gerbil died. At that point, like, it doesn't matter. Like the fact that people are hurting and I say something in a song that relates to them and they can go, wow, man, like I really felt that. That is the reason I do it. I do it for the people. As corny as that sounds, as cliche as it sounds, I do it for the people. I do it for the people because the people have gotten me to this point. Without the buying of the albums, I wouldn't have a #1 album. Without the people voting for me and believing in me, I wouldn't have made it to BET. Like without that fan base and that supportive base, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So for anybody that blows up and acts like they're too good for their fans, I feel like is the biggest crock of S that you'd ever hear, because it's just like, man, you'd be flipping burgers at Burger King if it wasn't for all these people believing your story and believing in your words and buying your albums. You'd be flipping burgers at Burger King. Now you're buying platinum chains and stuff. So it's like, I get disgusted when I find out that artists don't show their fans appreciation or don't respond to comments. Like I get when you have 1 million comments, you can't respond to every one, but it's like, man, like at least reach out to a couple of your fans, because they are the reason that you even have the ability to do what you're doing, because we are all human beings. We all were born to eat, poop, and sleep. You know what I mean? So it's like the fact that some people are looked at on higher plateaus than others is mind-boggling to me. But at least be respective if you are put in those positions, and show gratitude to those that put you in those positions.
How about when you know a hit's a hit and you've done the dubbing, you've done the writing, you first sing it, you come off it and say, that's a hit?
The car test. When you record the song, you put it in the car and you go for that first drive with it playing in the car.
It's true. It's a thing. Any recording artist knows the car test. It's one thing to hear it in the studio. It's one thing to hear headphones. When you go to the car, because that's where 80% of people are listening to stuff, or on their phone, which is the sad part about today, is we go spend thousands of dollars in studios just to have people play. Not 90% of people play it off their cell phones. You know what I mean? We're in these big studios with these big speakers and big mixing boards, $1 million mixing boards, just for people to judge it off a cell phone. You know what I mean? It's kind of ironic, but I mean, yeah, the car test is key, because cars are always stocked with a very default setting, which it's very just like equalized perfectly to what they think everything will sound good as. So a car test is the best test for any artist watching right now. A car test, if you're looking if your song sounds good, skip the Beats by Dre, skip the huge studio speakers that cost $1 million, because guess what? Everyone listening to it doesn't have $1 million speakers. Go to the car, plug it in your aux cord, and play it in the car. And if it sounds good, then everyone's hearing it the same way it probably is.
Yeah. Guys, we got time for one more question. I always ask the artist. I asked you a couple of years back. I'm going to ask it again because times has been ticking on. How tough is the music industry? I want individual answers. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go first.
I mean, like, what is the industry? In a way, it's better than it's ever been, because I could literally we could upload a clip from this video. It could go viral on TikTok, and boom, I'm in the music industry. So it's become more accessible, but also it's so oversaturated. There's a million.
Yeah.
There's millions of me.
I agree. Music is a very cutthroat business, a very fickle game. I mean, the ones at the top of the iceberg are living it up, and then you have a bunch of crabs in the bucket trying to climb their way up too. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm a crab in the bucket too at this point, technically on paper. So music is really cutthroat. What it is, and it touches back to what I said earlier, is you have to be invested in just your craft, not the fame, not the money. Excuse me. Don't do it for the fame or the money. Do it because you love making music. That's the most important part. Because if you're not making timeless records, your career will plateau. You will fail eventually. That's just what music is, because fads change, things change, everything changes constantly. So it's like, if you're not constantly.
Guys, hold on 1 second. I want to get your props in. If people want to connect with you, social media, give me the biggest way to hit you up individually. Reality, you first.
Okay, so I'm at the best way for me is Instagram. That's probably my best platform I use the most. It's Official Riyality. So Reality is spelled Riyality. Official Riyality.
Okay, Stitch.
I go by the name of Young Stitch, official Young Stitch on all social media platforms. You can Google me, YouTube me, I'll pop up. Also, I really want to give a big shout out to Harley G's Clothing.
Oh, yeah.
They sponsored my boy with the shirt. I grabbed the wrong shirt off the rack. It was a little too small for me, so I blessed it to Riri. That's my company right now with my boy Harley. I'm managing one of his stores in Oshawa. We have a lot of crazy gear. Come check us out. Also, shout outs to Lions Eat Goats. Me and Junk are going on tour the West Coast. Come check us out. Shout outs to Lunchroom Poets. That's my rap group. Shout outs to everybody that's got us, man.
Shout out to the BMD. It's good to be.
Hey, don't forget to shout out to the BMD.
Big old BMD. He's got a.
Hey guys, it's been great reconnecting with you again. Thanks for coming on the show. Meet the band and catch a break with me, the BMD. Until we meet next time, you know what we say to everybody? If you're happy, tell a friend. See you again.
See ya.
Bang.